And a happy holiday season to all of you who might be watching. It is December 26th, 2021. My instinct tells me that this holiday season uh, is going to be one that we will remember. Something may happen. Something may happen in the next few days or in the beginning of next year. I think so. I think something's going to shift. In which direction, I don't know. I'm just giving you my instincts on it. I thought I would say hello. And as I said in the title, this is a Ketu Christmas. And this Christmas, I definitely had a strong desire to reach out to the deity Ketu and to die to my attachments about myself, about my life, about anything in the physical realm. And I even said something to the effect of, if there's nothing left for me to do, I'm willing to go right now. I didn't, so there must be something left for me to do. But certainly this has been a holiday season of sacrifice for me personally. If you were to have talked to me 5 or 6 months ago, I would have said to you that I was going to stay in Australia forever and that I knew that things were going to work out in such a way that I would end up staying there for the rest of my life. I'd never have to get on a plane. Of course, I didn't know what that was. But I knew what a plane was. I didn't know what was going to keep me there. But it wasn't until my awakening to what is really going on that happened, 3-4 months ago? It wasn't that long ago. And I had a complete turnaround. The entire reality that I thought existed, and I was already on the outskirts of most people's reality. But the reality that I thought existed came crashing down and completely flipped over on top of itself simply because I became aware of the world that we live in. And the world that we live in now is, in fact, seeking to become a digital biomatrix. This is the third phase of the matrix. I'm using that word because that's what we understand. In the past, ancients used different words and phrases to describe this illusion that we live in. And there are two matrices that one can live in. One is a good matrix, and that is what the Vedics called Maya, which means illusion. And this is a beautiful illusion that we have created in order to experience three-dimensional limited reality and enjoy that. That is what Maya is, illusion. It is a good illusion, but nevertheless it is an illusion. There is a negative, false, artificial illusion which is being thrust upon our reality by those in power. And we, if we are part of that reality, we are putting our energies into creating it. So I'm saying that this Christmas is a Christmas of sacrifice, where you must be willing to die to yourself, die to what you think you know, die to your all of your possessions, all of physical reality. But the other thing that's true is that those who are trapped in the artificial biodigital matrix, the people who are convinced and hypnotized into believing what the elites are telling us, those people have already died to their own integrity. They've died to their own soul. They have died to their own autonomy in creating this world. And autonomy is a really wonderful thing. It is a spiritual thing, autonomy, being self-empowered and self-directed. This is the benefit of spiritual work, is to become autonomous and to be able to consciously determine your own destiny, your own life, your own reality. So this is what we must deal with. The karma of this pandemic is those people who are not fully, completely committed to their own soul, and if they're not fully 100% ready to die, to live their truth, they will be hypnotized. They will become one of the zombies. And this becoming clouded and controlled and hypnotized by this artificial biodigital matrix has nothing to do with intelligence. I would have thought before all this that intelligent people who can think clearly, who can think logically, would be able to see the writing on the wall. But I've seen some really less than bright people who can't think very rationally, are many of the ones who are able to intuitively know there's something wrong with what they're telling us to do. There's something wrong with this. And these are the people whom I used to target. You know, the people who followed, what's his name? You know, the reptilian guy, I forget his name, which I still think is an inaccurate, nonsensical, fear-based projection. But the intuition behind it is accurate, that those in control, the elites, are in fact acting from sociopathic, reptilian mindsets and motives, and that the only way out of that is not to comply, not to surrender, not to give up your integrity. And many of people that I know that are extremely intelligent, really intelligent, have become utter idiots, and for the life of them can't seem to figure out or accept actual facts and objective reality. And in each one of those cases, in each one of the cases of people whom I would have thought these people would not be able to handle some kind of mass hypnosis, but they have, but they weren't as intelligent as, you know, some others. What, as it turns out, when I analyze their life, these are people who have completely committed and are willing to do anything and sacrifice anything to live their truth, to live the truth of their soul. And so that is what has given them the ability to see, to intuit what has arrived. And the intelligent people whom I thought would have, you know, in case of one individual, I reached out to him after I became aware of what was going on, because I thought for sure he also would be aware of what was going on. And when I reached out to him, I was shocked to hear him talk in riddles, and to totally have given himself over to the zombie virus. And as it turns out, all of those people, very intelligent people who should have known better, these are people who, if I analyze their lives, these are people who did not sacrifice and were not willing to sacrifice, meaning that they gave up their integrity to be loved and accepted by somebody, their wife, their parents, their, whatever. They wanted love and acceptance from others more than they wanted to live their own reality, and they weren't willing to go through the pain of sacrifice. Because if you live your truth, if you live your soul desire, you must be willing to lose all of the people in your life. I'm not saying you will. You must be willing to do that. You must be willing to lose every relationship. The most important thing to you must be living your soul desire. You must be willing to be homeless. You must be willing to lose all of your money, all of your possessions, all of your status, all of everything. And in every single instance in my life where I have done that, where I have literally just jumped off a cliff, and I have, in some cases, gone into debt and been this close to homelessness. In every single one of those cases, I always ended up far better off than I was before. So I can only assume that that's going to be the case for me this time around, because I left what was my ultimate fantasy, and now that I'm here and things have changed. Australia has opened up they're beginning to open up their borders, and as I predicted, the whole society, the whole economy is completely, totally shutting down, and COVID has exploded. And it's not so much that COVID has exploded, it's that they're freaking out about it. And so I am so glad that I'm not there having to be a part of that. I'm here, I'll be honest with you, it's been disappointing, it's been very sad. So, I've been spending a lot of time feeling sad and mourning the loss of what was, my perfect life, and the possibility that I may never be able to go back there. But I'm prepared to sacrifice that, to keep my integrity, to keep my boundaries, to keep my health, and to follow my true path. So even though I don't know where I'm going to end up, I can only assume that it's going to be another one of those scenarios that's happened throughout my life when I think I've lost everything and I stay true to my soul. Something happens and I end up in a world that is even beyond my wildest expectations. So I'm going to believe that for myself going forward after this holiday season. So, who is Ketu? I said this is a Ketu Christmas. Who is Ketu? Ketu is the south node of the moon, and I'm talking about Vedic astrology, sidereal zodiac, not Western astrology, not the tropical zodiac. So please don't try and compare them, because they're completely different systems of calculating the stars. So what we have going on right now is we have Mars and Ketu conjunct in the sign of Scorpio. And again, I'm going by my instinct. And starting with Christmas Eve, I just felt this presence of Ketu. In case you want to know who Ketu is, there's the north node and the south nodes of the moon are actually the most important planets, I could say. Without them, there is no incarnation, there is no reincarnation, there is no life, there is no death. And these are the nodes that are the drivers of karma and drive you along from one life to the next. Without them, nothing would happen. So, and it's probably true with all of the planets, but in any case. So Rahu is the north node of the moon and represents your delusions, your hopes, your dreams, your obsessions, your aspirations, your addictions, your compulsions, your lower desires. But it also represents innovation, breaking the rules in order to evolve. But in order for that to happen, you must be obsessed with achieving and experiencing whatever it is that you want. And this is Rahu. Ketu says, everything is an illusion. This life you live is a complete illusion. Your marriage is an illusion. Your job is an illusion. Everything is an illusion. The only thing that exists, according to Ketu, is the spirit, and the spirit is nothingness. The spirit is pure potential with no manifested specific anything. And so wherever Ketu is placed in either your chart or in the whatever the transits are at any given moment, Ketu is like a bomb. He's just exploding and destroying whatever he is associated with. So here we have Mars and Ketu conjunct in Scorpio. So what is Scorpio? Scorpio is the water sign of Mars. That already causes conflict because Mars is fire and Scorpio is a water sign. So what happens when you pour water onto fire? You have an explosion of steam. And so Scorpio itself is already intense, passionate, violent, and explosive, but it's also emotional because water is emotions. And the scorpion has a stinger. And so Mars likes to dig. Mars is a digger. He digs deep into everything. He's a surgeon. He's an engineer. He's a warrior. They dig, they cut, they go deep. So here you have water, which is emotions, and Scorpio, so that means deep emotional realities. It's the sign, the eighth sign, which is connected to the eighth house originally, and the eighth house is the unconscious. So here we have the planet of destruction, of illusion, conjunct with the warrior and the lord of the sign of Scorpio. So you have this explosion of emotional steam, even more intense now because Mars is there in that sign. And Ketu, like Rahu and Ketu both act like expanders. They expand and intensify whatever they're connected to. Now, Ketu and Mars have a very strong connection. Ketu and Mars are very similar. Ketu represents also complete victory and destruction of enemies. Ketu is a flag. After you've taken some other country, you've conquered everybody and destroyed everybody, and bodies are strewn everywhere, you put a flag in and you say, this is mine. I own this. So it has to do with completion of battle. Mars and Ketu, when you put them together, they think alike. Mars says, I will do anything and everything, sacrifice everything to conquer that enemy. And Ketu says, yeah, and I'll destroy them. Because their idea of holding on to something is elusive, and I want to destroy that. Ketu brings death wherever he goes. He seeks to release everybody from the illusion. So in your chart, wherever Ketu is associated, he will seek to destroy that. If you are connecting well with Ketu, he will give you mastery of it because you will see it for what it is. You will have no ego attached to it, which will make you a master of that. It means you've mastered it in a previous life. If you do not have a great relationship with Ketu based on your chart, then Ketu will destroy whatever that is. I've seen charts where, and this, by the way, doesn't happen with everybody, so don't flip out. But I've seen people who have had Ketu conjunct Venus, and these people were incapable of love. They wanted to love, they wanted to be loved, but whenever they'd get into a romantic relationship, the moment that the intimacy became real, they would just, at the very least, have become completely apathetic, or they would start to hate the relationship and want to destroy it. These people were constantly alone and incapable of making connections. If they understood that Ketu is saying, that's because I want to turn you into a monk, I want you to focus on the spirit and the spirit only, and forget about this illusion of love and family and kids and all of that pleasure. I guess the best way to put it, I remember one person just could not take pleasure in romance, just couldn't do it. No matter how hard they tried, it was just, they couldn't do it. That's one example. So Ketu and Mars together in Scorpio means that they are going to go in deep into the unconscious, and they are going to dig and destroy your unconscious illusions about everything. That has definitely been the case for me. And, you know, who knows where the world is going to go? What's going to happen? None of us knows. And that's one of the reasons I'm in one of the least attractive surfing places in the world, which is Florida, although you can get some good surf in Florida sometimes. But for the most part, it's just not the place. It's not the first place people go when they think, I want to go on a surf trip. They don't think about Florida. But that's why I'm here. I'm here because it's a safe place. It's politically safe. I don't have to wear a mask anywhere I go. And I appreciate that. And I like the idea of not buying into the illusion. I'm not going to co-sign it. I'm not going to wear a mask and deal with it. I'm not going to co-sign it for right now. That may change later. I may get so tired of not having good surf that I need to go somewhere else, and I'll have to put on a mask and deal with it. But for now, I am not going to do that. And the world is going crazy, crazier than ever, and the purveyors of the illusion have gone above and beyond. And, you know, I already made videos about it. You can go and watch it on BitChute and, I was going to say Amazon, BitChute and Odyssey. I've already talked about how crazy it is. But they're just overreaching so intensely. So what's going to happen, as I understand it, is that when we had the last, I can't remember which, if it was the lunar or the solar eclipse. I believe it was the solar eclipse. The exact point of the solar eclipse, Mars on the 31st, if I'm remembering my astrology for right now, Mars is going to transit over the exact spot of the solar eclipse. Mars is a warrior. So that means all of the things associated with the eclipse, which really is the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse together because you can't separate them. All of the things associated with that, which we've already talked about, Mars is going to transit over that exact spot, which means he's going to go to war over those very things. And because he is conjunct Ketu, it means that the god of death will go with him. This is a very frightening time if you happen to be on the wrong side of Mars. Some people, I haven't said this, nor am I encouraging this in any way, but some people have said that I believe on the 31st of December, we may very well see some type of violent demonstrations of some kind, or at the very least, the stimulation to create that kind of warfare against something. And this may very well be the time where the lies become revealed. We don't know. I haven't seen that yet. I would have to say on the whole that more and more people are probably waking up. I'm seeing more and more things that are getting past the YouTube censors, which tend to be kind of showing how ridiculous this whole charade is. But we have yet to see. So, my main message for you this Christmas season, Yuletide, Kwanzaa, whatever the heck it is that you worship, if anything. I personally don't do anything this time of year. But whatever it is that you do, the theme of it is giving yourself over to Ketu. So what you can do is you can chant to any form of Ganesha or Ganapati that you appreciate. I'll write one down for you. You can chant this one whenever you want. It's Om Shri Ganeshaya Nama. Om Shri Ganeshaya Nama. Another one is Om. This might even be a better one because it keeps coming to mind. Om Gang Gana. Oops. Ganapataye Nama. And I've recorded that. I chant that on one of my videos somewhere. If you go looking for it, you can find it. You can hear me chanting that to African drums. Om Gang Ganapataye Nama. So, I recommend everybody between now and the first of the year, focus on that. I'm not saying that you need to change whatever ritual you're doing, but if you want to drop everything and just chant to Ganesha and die to your attachments, die to your beliefs about anything and everything, and be willing to let go of everything, even your own life. Because in order for us to move into whatever needs to happen next, we truly have to die to this life. It is really kind of on the level of completely shifting to another level of reality. And I don't even know to what extent that is. And based on all the things that I've seen and experienced, anything is possible. So you must be ready for anything. I'm in a good spot for this because everything that I, was attached to is gone. There's really nothing that's surrounding me that I'm attached to at all. So I get to really sort of live that monk lifestyle and mindset. And I'm telling myself this as I'm saying, and I'm saying that so that I will focus and realize this isn't a time to think about what I don't have. This is a time to think about what can I get rid of, what can I die to, dying to all of my desires, dying to all of my attachments. And I recommend you do the same between now and the first of the year. So, having said that, I don't have a whole lot anything else to say. I'm happy to take any questions if there are any, or just make this a short holiday hello. Vincent.thunderwizard.com says hello, and that is his website, Vincent.thunderwizard.com. He is a very talented astrologer in his own right. You can go check him out. Let's see, anything here? Any other questions? I don't see any questions. Nope, I don't see any questions. So there you go, guys. I won't belabor the video. I've uploaded some videos onto the other channels. If you are new to this channel in the future, as I see somebody is and doesn't know the protocol, the way this works is you ask me a question. When you ask me a question, you write the word question in all caps so that I can see it. And then you ask me a question based on what I'm talking about or what I teach. I don't respond well to questions that aren't part of anything that I teach. Sometimes people don't know any better, and that's okay. I also like to hear your honest feelings. So if you have an honest feeling, you can state that. An honest feeling is not, I honestly believe that Jesus is God. Somebody kept on doing that on my channel for a while. I had to block him. That's not a feeling, that's an opinion. A feeling is I'm afraid, I'm lonely, I'm happy, I'm scared, I'm confused, I'm hopeful. Those are feelings. I like to hear your feelings and I like to hear your questions, because in those places, honest questions and honest feelings, that's where true evolution is. If you want to be in that space, if you want to evolve, that's where you need to go. If you have the answers, if you have an opinion, you can't evolve. All right, anything come up? I've given you guys some time. Rami question, Is Valhalla real and what is it? So, are you new to my channel? I've made a lot of videos about Valhalla. You know, why are you asking the question? I mean, you could ask that same question about anything. Is there other realms of existence besides this one? Yes. Are they real? Meaning, can you go there and experience them when you're out of your body? Yes. But does that make them real? What people don't understand about, and it's easy to have this misunderstanding, especially people who want to escape the matrix and people who think there is a physical place, like a physical portal. For instance, some people were saying that the matrix portal was the North Pole, which I found to be quite convenient because it's the one place in the world that you literally cannot get to. So I found it very convenient that people were saying the portal out of the matrix is the North Pole. And it's like, well, then why aren't you going there? They could have chosen the South Pole, except that every year, hundreds, if not thousands of tourists go to the physical South Pole every year and they take pictures of it and there's no portal there. But what people don't understand about that kind of mindset is you think that if you get out of this reality that you'll escape the illusion and the things that trap you. No, what traps you is what's inside of you. So if you live in a matrix where you are a victim and you are controlled and damaged, that's because you have projected your reality onto this one. And so that's what you experience. If you take that and you are able to somehow escape this matrix wherever it is that you go, even if it's a perfect, total, wonderful, heaven, you will very quickly turn it into a hell simply by projecting your nonsense onto it. So the idea you're asking the question is Valhalla real? What does real mean? All these other realms of existence are just other projections. They're not this one, but that doesn't make them any less or more real than this. So is it real? Does it exist? Yeah. Can you experience it as real? Yes. What is it? You can simply do your own research. It won't take you any time. I mean, you can go on Google right now and ask the question, what is Valhalla? You don't have to ask me. So one of the things that we do on this channel, again, it's great to ask me questions about things that I teach, especially some of these deeper things. Asking me general questions about one guy, I didn't even bother to look at it, what's going to happen with cryptocurrency. I mean, I've never talked about cryptocurrency. I could care less about it. So it's not even worth answering. What is Valhalla? Almost on that level because it's a very superficial question that doesn't show me that you've spent any time on my channel. So I'm not motivated to answer that. But that's the best answer you're going to get from me today about what is Valhalla. I've already answered that question about crypto. Spend some time on my channel. You don't have to ask me. Just put 10 seconds into looking at what videos I have, and then you'll have the answer to that question. Dark question. From a Taoist or animist perspective, is there anything wrong with doing Qigong as a Muslim? Well, which perspective are you asking me? Are you asking me from a Taoist perspective? Are you asking me from an animist perspective? Or from a Muslim perspective? I am not a Muslim. So how can I possibly answer that question? Can you do Qigong as a Muslim? I don't know. Ask a Muslim. I'm not a Muslim. I have no interest in being a Muslim. I personally don't like any of the Abrahamic traditions at all. But that's my personal choice. You're free to do whatever you want. I don't even know why you would ask that question. I'm much more interested in why you're asking the question. If you say to me, I'm really interested in following Islam, can I also do my Qigong stuff? That then at least I know where you're coming from. That's the kind of a strange question. Why you would ask that on my channel. A Taoist perspective, is it okay for a Taoist to do Qigong? Well, since they invented it, I would say yes. An animist perspective, which is, Taoism is the ancient Chinese form of animism. Animism is any kind of spiritual practice that has to do with living in a world where everything has a personality and has a self and a soul. And Taoists are definitely animist. So I guess that would answer that question. Yes, from an animist perspective, it's great to do Qigong. Can you be a Taoist and animist at the same time? Yes, because Taoist is a form of animism. Can you be a Taoist and a Muslim at the same time? I have no idea. It doesn't sound like a good combination to me. So can you be a Taoist Muslim who practices Qigong? Anything is possible. Why you would ask that question, I have no idea. What else? Stephen Bishop, I don't know what you teach. I just got here. Good. Welcome to the classroom. So when you come to a new classroom, the best thing to do is to sit down, shut up, and listen. So give that a try. Sit down, listen. If there are things that I say that don't make sense, you can read the material. You can get out your textbook, which happens to be this YouTube channel, and you can flip through the textbook, which happens to be looking on the channel and watching the videos, and then you'll know what the subject matter is, because that's what's happening. You're walking into a classroom and you're sitting down. It's okay that you're brand new. It's okay that you don't know anything. But if this were a university setting, what would you do? You would get out the textbook and you would start to try and get yourself up to speed. You wouldn't raise your hand in the middle of the class and say, hey, what's going on? What is this class about? Everybody's going to turn and look at you and give you the stink eye, because it shows that you're not serious. But having said that, welcome to the channel, and I hope you find what you need. And when you have a question associated with what I teach, I'll be more than happy to delve in and answer it. Username, I'm getting ready to kind of either put you on the sideline because you're not listening. Do you believe in Simpson predictions? Put some time and effort into looking at my channel before you start asking these kinds of questions. I'm just not even going to respond to it. Don't get your feelings hurt. It's obvious that you're really just kind of floating in and you got nothing better to do, and you're throwing a bunch of whatever's bouncing off the top of your head. So we're going to put you in a timeout for a little bit so that you don't distract the rest of the class. Duke of Lightning, honest feeling. I feel very grateful and appreciative that you are sharing and teaching all of this. I'm glad that you're having that feeling, and I'm also glad that it's helpful. The Summoning the Immortals practice is really helping me progress in life and as a man. Well, that's awesome. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, you're new to the channel, you can actually go and watch that video. It is an energy practice called Summoning the Immortals? It's an incredibly powerful spiritual practice. In fact, I challenge everybody to do that energy practice every day for a month. And I challenge you to do it and then come back and tell me that nothing happened. I challenge you. Obviously, you can tell by that that I'm giving you my guarantee that if you put effort into that practice and do it on a daily basis, you will have an experience. Milan Jankovic, question. If I take 90 days challenge, do I still receive power of manifestation in same pack? I don't know what you're asking me. The 90-day challenge is the 90-day challenge. The manifestation mastery course, is that what you're asking about? So when you subscribe, when you go up to thunderwizard.com up here, which is my Patreon page, you can subscribe at the 90-day challenge, which is the Warrior 90-day Lightning Qigong. That is the highest level, except for this here. That is the highest level of a subscription. I should say there are other higher levels of subscription, but in terms of access to all of the things on the Patreon channel, that will get you access to everything. So to answer your question, if you subscribe at the 90-day Warrior 90-day Lightning Qigong, you will also have access to everything else, the Manifestation Mastery course. You will have access to the Shamanism Mastery. You will have access to all of those thousands of hours of videos. So that's why I recommend people subscribe at that level, because you get everything. And I guarantee you, you will not be able to watch all of those videos and learn all of those things, within one lifetime. I pretty much guarantee that. There's so much information. So if I'm understanding you correctly, yes. If you subscribe at the 90-day challenge level, you will also have the Manifestation Mastery course. All right, I don't see any other questions here. So that's it for me, guys. That's all I got. So happy holidays to you in whatever that means to you. And let's see, an honest feeling just popped up here. Baba Junzo says, honest feeling. I feel happy that you said in a previous video that you can do the butterfly hands in reverse and make it a longer set. I tried that and I love it. Okay. Well, I don't know if that's the same that I've done, because the second level of the butterfly hands is to do the mirror section of it. And it's not exactly, I don't think it's exactly reversed, but it might be. And so I'm amazed and impressed that you were able to reverse engineer it like that and get it reversed, and you're enjoying it. So congratulations. I'm happy that you did that. We are going to have a second level of that at some point. Now that I've finally gotten out of Australia and I've been here for, how long have I been here? Let's see. I've been in this place since the 9th, and what is today? It's been 2.5 weeks, something like that. 3 weeks almost. So I'm just now sort of starting to wake up. Literally sort of wake up. I mean, I had jet lag for so long and I could barely function, and I was emotionally, completely going through a whole transformation. I mean, on every freaking level. So I'm finally starting to wake up and kind of come back into my body here and feeling normal. So we'll be doing more of that stuff, and I'll be teaching, getting more stuff out to you. I forgot what I was going to say after saying that I was starting to feel better. But congratulations, keep that up. And my plan is I was going to wait until after the first of the year, but after the first of the year, I'm going to go ahead and upload the earth element, which is the final 5th element of the Maoshan practice. And so again, if you're waiting to save a little bit of money, that's why I held off, in case people want to save a little bit of money. You could go and get that now, and then, but if you wait until after the first and I upload the earth element, that's going to be at its highest price, and there will be no more savings from that. And then people will have all 5 of the elements, and if I decide to stay here in Florida, then we can start doing some seminars. I've decided I'm probably going to move out of this area just because the beaches here, just very few surfable beaches, and I'm going to go further south where the surfing is a little more consistent, and the beaches can tolerate creating surf a little better. So I'm probably going to do that, but I still honestly don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I may end up going to Costa Rica. I still don't know. I will keep you all apprised of all of that as it happens. Okay, no other questions popping up? Dura has an honest feeling. Happy days to Mahadeva and this beautiful community. We all thank you. Dakota Collins question. How important is cultivating your energy body and energy along the path of evolution in your experience? That's a very intellectual question, and I don't know what it means. When you do energy work, you do energy work. When you cultivate energy, you automatically cultivate your energy body and move it along the path of evolution. I mean, so I don't know how you can think that there's cultivating energy and then cultivating energy towards your evolution. They're one and the same. So how important is it? I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, it is absolutely critical. I mean, my life depends on it. But I can't really talk for anybody else. In fact, people live their lives in ways I don't understand. You know, if I were to take the majority of people and look at their lives, I would go, how the hell do these people live like that? And that's my judgment. For me, most people live an incredibly superficial life. They're happy with, how can people live in cities in the middle of a landlocked country, for example? How can people live their whole lives based on golf and, you know, handbags and, that's my judgment. Most people live incredibly dull, boring lives that I would blow my brains out if I had to live. For me, I have to live the way that I live or it would kill me. But that's me. I can't get into somebody else's skin and judge them. So how important is it? That's really a question for yourself. Patrick.thunderwizard.com. Hi, Patrick. So you can also go to Patrick's website, patrick.thunderwizard.com. He's a very accomplished spiritual practitioner in his own right. And I believe that he is a Vedic astrologer, and he may also be a rune reader as well. And he does a bunch of other stuff too. He's an acupuncturist and a very advanced spiritual and energy cultivator himself. Go check out his website if you will. By the way, what I just did for for at least two people, if you go to, since we're still locked down, if you go to lockdown.thunderwizard.com and purchase that, if you pass a couple of very simple examinations, I will certify you and I will give you a joeschmo.thunderwizard.com website. And if you come on here and say hello and give me your website, I will promote it. So you can go check that out if you want. What else? Honest feeling, Dakota, best to put it in all caps, otherwise I might miss it. I know what I've done for myself, but I want to hear your perspective. That's not an honest feeling, that is a request. So I don't know what you mean. You're asking me about the cultivating the energy body. Okay, so I did my best to give you my perspective and my experience. I mean, everybody's different, and in my astrology, I have Moon in the first house, which means, number one, that I need to experience the world on an emotional level through my physical body, through physical movement. And my moon, when I was born during a new moon, which means that my moon was completely dark, which means that I lack that energy of the mother, of the maternal, of the moon, of life force energy, of chi. I lack that. So ironic that I become a Qigong master, and the reason why I became so obsessed with it is for that very reason. Is that once I found it and I started doing it, it was like, you never know what you're missing until you do it for the first time. So for me, my life depends upon me doing energy work. So if you're asking my experience, I'm giving it to you. But, listen, I'm not here to, we don't do the religious thing here. And I don't tell people what to do or how to live. So I don't walk around saying for the world, they need to do spiritual work. They need to do energy. I don't know what they need to do. I don't know what their karma is. I don't have the first clue. That's their job to figure out. Like I said, I talk about speaking of Florida, there's a place called Daytona Beach where people are just all into cars, man. And what a waste of time. I can't think of anything more ridiculously boring than getting all wrapped up in cars. But that's me. For some people, that's what they're here to do. They're here to enjoy cars. And that's what's they're going to find their spiritual fulfillment in cars or in handbags or in golf or, who knows what. Something that bore the crap out of me. So to answer your question, Dakota, you're asking for my experience is that if I don't do energy work, it could kill me. If I don't do energy work, I will be extremely unhappy. It'll make me sick. It'll make me very cranky. So I hope that answered your question. In other words, the reason I say that is that the way you asked the question, it has sort of like that, it has kind of a dogmatic sort of judgment feeling to it. For the whole world, shouldn't the whole world be doing this? That is a common feeling for somebody who is chasing after something that they've discovered that they need. Was there a time in my life when I used to say things like that? Yes. There was a time in my life when I used to say that, people need to be doing this. And if people did this, like the spirit fighting, because it was so nourishing for me. It was almost a religion for me. And I would tell anybody that, that they should go do it. Now looking back on it, this is definitely not something that everybody should do. And people aren't me. But the question is, do you need to do it? Does it empower you? But, with this whole Ketu thing, one of the things that Ketu hates is dogma and religion. So I'm kind of in that mode of, I'm not here to tell people what to do. I'm not even here to tell people whether or not they should get the reptilian anointing, the Cylon upgrade, the jab. I'm not here to tell them what they should do. If you want to go do it, go do it. You'll have to live whatever consequences and you'll be responsible for that. But I don't know what your karma is. I don't know what lessons you're here to learn. It's none of my business. And I say this because I was just making some videos. I did a video, if you want to watch it, you can go to my BitChute channel, bitchute.com and look for Thunder Wizard. Or you can go to Odyssey, odyssee.com and look for Thunder Wizard. I just made a video on terrain theory, a couple of videos. Terrain theory is what many alternative holistic practitioners swear by. And it was one of the early theories of medicine back in the 1800s. And it was vying alongside of Pasteur, who is said to be now the inventor of germ theory. I'm not going to get into all of that, except that the people who believe in terrain theory tend to be very religious about it. They're very dogmatic and religious. They're very closed-minded. They're very rigid. And if you don't believe the way that they believe, they judge you and attack you. And they will take whatever information they find and they will bend it so that it will fit within their dogma. So I'm not dogmatic about anything that I teach. I believe that it can be helpful to the world. I think it can be helpful to a lot of people. And I'm happy to give it away because I give it away as much as I can. And I also provide it in ways that benefit me so that I can have a career and have a life. So if you want to support me in that, you can go to thunderwizard.com and subscribe at whatever level you want. And also subscribe to this channel. Let's see. Did I answer that question as long as I possibly can? Dora, honest feelings. I refuse to commit to mandatory things I don't like. So I listen to you to get some relief. Yeah, that's not necessarily an honest feeling, but there's some honest feelings in there. So I'll let it slide. I understand that. I'm glad I'm helpful for you. Film sample CG, honest feeling. I am scared because I realize that I have manifested someone in my life where the relationship is becoming destructive to me, and I'm scared that I hurt that person or get yelled at. I don't understand that. You're scared that you hurt that person or get yelled at? You're scared that those are your only two choices? If your accurate. By the way, sometimes people aren't accurate when it comes to relationships. They think they've manifested the wrong person, and sometimes those people are great. There's people who really have a hard time, learning how to have relationships. Sometimes people can't tell when their fears are coming up and you project onto the person you're with all kinds of stuff that they're not doing. But if you're accurate, and I have no reason to believe you're not, and you have manifested a destructive relationship, leave. Yeah, people are going to get their feelings hurt. And are you responsible? Well, you didn't give them what they wanted and they got hurt. If you're in a destructive relationship, if it truly is destructive, you're not meant to be in it. So the fact that you're disappointing somebody by choosing to leave is the best thing for them. Because if they are destructive to you, then the kindest thing you can do for that person is to say, hey, listen, I have nothing but love for you. I have compassion. I care about you. I want the best for you. This relationship is damaging to me. And so for my own health and my happiness, I'm going to leave. I'm sorry if I hurt you. And if that person needs to evolve so that they won't be as destructive, you have given them something to reflect on. What they choose to do about that is completely their business, even if it means they off themselves. Not your responsibility. As long as, if what is true, that you are taking action towards what is healing and beneficial for you, that is the only thing you're responsible for. So what you're describing, if you're accurate, which I don't know if you are, but what you're describing is a karmic challenge. Your karma is, we can boil karma always down to one issue. Karma is always about taking action either towards your soul or knuckling under and doing something for your own lower self-benefit, either pleasing other people so you get love. Theft is the same thing. When you steal from somebody else, what you're saying is, I can't determine my own reality. I need somebody else's energy, their stuff, their money, their car, whatever it is. It's the same when people get in relationships and they choose, I did it, they choose to marry somebody that is not constructive for them, somebody that doesn't truly empower them and love them. That is, you are walking away from your own power, your own integrity, and you're stealing from somebody else. Because you want their love, you want their approval, or you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to be a bad person, which is again selfish, self-centered narcissism. I don't want people to think I'm bad, so I won't hurt them, meaning I won't disappoint them. Okay, I won't go and live the life I want to live. I did this. I lived this way. I was married. I was in a relationship for 10 years, married for 4 of it, and that's how I lived. I sacrificed my good to make her happy, and it never worked. No matter what I did, it was never good enough. And I got sicker and more unhappy and more poor and less prosperous, and I was miserable. And when I decided to leave, she was very upset initially, and then she was very happy about it. Okay, so go do something about it. Take the actions that's going to be most empowering to you. See, again, here is enlightenment. Enlightenment is one thing and one thing only. It is having the awareness to feel all of your feelings, positive and negative, good, bad, pleasant or unpleasant. To feel every single feeling that you have, every single impulse, to consciously have them, and then have the consciousness to know what actions you need to take that are most constructive, first for you and for the rest of the world. Because if you do what's constructive for you, you are already helping others, even if they are initially disappointed by you not, meeting their needs, their quote needs. So, I beat that horse to death. leave. If you don't like it, leave. It happens all the time. People break up with people all the time. It happens literally every day. What else? Baba Junzo, question. Do you ever think about starting a Maoshan temple? I have started a Maoshan temple. That is right there. Thunderwizard.com is a Maoshan temple. The days of temples are over. The days of gurus, the days of religions are over. The days of one true path is over. We are now living in, we're moving into the Aquarian age. The Aquarian age is an age of sharing and equality. And I am a syncretist, which means I syncretize multiple belief systems that work together and complement each other. In fact, my entire teaching is a syncretization. So I don't personally believe in temples. I have nothing against them. I would be happy to go spend time in a holy sanctuary or a temple and, benefit from that energy. But not only do I not have the desire to do that, I wouldn't. I want I want all of you watching me to take everything that I've taught, go read all of my books, go take all of my courses here, courses.thunderwizard.com, and pick and choose what you want to work with. And for instance, the things that I teach about the thunder wheel, my version of the shamanic wheel. There are people who are taking that science that I've given. I don't know anybody else that has syncretized all of that knowledge from multiple traditions into one working shamanic tool like that. Maybe they have. I'm sure it's happened before. I'm not aware of it. But my hope is that people will take that tool that I've sort of pieced together and that they will perfect it. That when I'm gone, that when I'm no longer here, that people will be taking that knowledge of the thunder wheel and expanding upon it and making it deeper and taking, multiple things. There are some people that are using the thunder wheel and combining it with runes and with Vedic astrology and coming up with this astrological rune thunder wheel that's far, I can't even comprehend it. It's above my understanding, and that makes me thrilled that people do that. I'm not a guru. I'm not here to be a guru. I'm not here to have people bow down and kiss my feet. You have to respect me if you want to learn from me, because I am the channel through which you will learn. But you should respect yourself and everybody else, and you should see me as a human and see me as flawed. All of that. So, am I going to start a temple? I'm not worthy to start a temple. I'm happy to go to one, visit them, but I'm not going to start one. The closest thing to a Maoshan temple is this. If you want to really show your devotion to what I teach, go here. On my other channel, there's somebody came and left a message, left a comment and said something about, you should know how grateful I am to you for everything that you've taught here, and that know that you are like my brother. You are like, really went on and on and on trying to, and my response was, that's very kind of you, but I already know you haven't done the things that I have suggested. So if you want to prove how deeply your devotion is to me, do the things I suggest. And that would be, I'm not saying this is a totally different channel, but if you guys like what I do and you want to support me, obviously the best way to support me is to go here and to subscribe, to purchase any of the the teachings or the any of the stuff that I have available to people. And outside of that, what's most important is that you do the work, that you commit and do the work on some level. That will show me that you really do value me and you want to support me. When I leave this world, I'm not I'm not hinting at anything. I have no intention of leaving anytime soon, but I am aware clock is ticking. I'm in Florida, by the way. I mean, this is really the place where people come to die. It really is. This, especially where I'm at. There's so many old people here. Oh my God. And you know what? I'll have to say that the energy here is very calm. Florida is flat. There's no mountains anywhere. There's just sand and trees and lakes, and that's it. And it's flat. And so the energy is just, it really is the place to come to die. This is a good place. If you want to come and die, come to Florida, because it's just so, it's just so much earth and water and flatness, and the energy just calms. It's just boring. I don't know how else to put it. Florida, the energy of Florida is just boring to me. And that's good if you're at the end of your life and you don't need any excitement and you're ready to just relax in your easy chair and tune out. For me, I need the yin and the yang. I need, and even the beaches are boring. I kid you not. The beaches are just boring as hell. The ocean is just, and I need, where I was at, I had mountains overlooking the ocean. I had cliffs and beaches and forests, and there was just all of this yang energy as well. And you could have this combination of being on the side of a cliff or a mountain, which I was, and getting all that yang energy from the mountainside and the yin energy from the crashing of the waves. You get this dynamic yin and yang. This here is just all yin. It's just all, okay, let's all get ready to die. But very relaxing. That's why people come here to vacation. If you want to come and just sort of sit on the edge of a boat and fish, and it's hot and it's humid and it's just, this is the place. Don't know that it's the place for me at the moment, but let's see. All right, I've babbled long enough. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about? Fim sample CG. Also, I think I have codependence issues. All right. Well, I would recommend, if you're serious about that, then go to Codependence Anonymous. Start working the 12 steps of Codependence Anonymous. Listen, the way I am, guys, is I don't like to complain if there's something I can do about it. So when somebody has a complaint about something, my first response is, well, then go take care of it. You say you have codependence issues, I would go to Codependence Anonymous. That's what it's there for. I would get a counselor and a therapist and work on my codependence issues. And then you won't have that problem. Yeah. It's hard for me to have, I've come up with a new phrase. My new phrase is, Ketu doesn't care. What I mean by that is I was talking with somebody and I was talking about other people whom I knew, who knew better, who knew what the jab was, they knew what the Cylon upgrade was, they knew all of the negative things that you've heard me talk about. They knew all of that. And yet, in order to save their job, or some other reasons that I can't comprehend, they went and got the jab. And I have to say, you know what? If I think about it, it makes sense. Because those are people who weren't willing to sacrifice everything for their soul. And so, when things happen to them, which they will, my feeling will be there's nothing to complain about. Now, I was talking about this with somebody else who knows who I'm talking about and is like me, is free from the Cylon upgrade. And they had compassion for them. They said, well, they can't help it. They have to, that's their job. And I'm like, So what? What good is a job if you're dead? What good is a job if you're sick? Who cares? What good is money? What good is anything? No, no, it wasn't that. It's that's their passion. And in order to keep their passion going, they have to follow the rules. And I said, anything that forces you to sacrifice your integrity is an illusion. They won't benefit from whatever it is they think they're going to get out of that. I didn't have the same compassion that this person did. This person is very compassionate. And what I wanted to say to that person, but I didn't, but I kept thinking about it, was because I was so thinking about Ketu, is that Ketu doesn't care. Ketu doesn't care how much money you're losing, doesn't care how much career, how much reputation, how much relationship, how much sex, how much food, how much anything. If you're a billionaire, Ketu doesn't care that you have billions of dollars. You come to Ketu and you say, but I'm going to lose so much. Ketu says, what do I care? That's nothing. What you have is nothing. You think it's something. It's nothing. Ketu doesn't care. What I mean by that is, in order to sacrifice everything to have and save your soul, it doesn't, it's harder for a rich man to, enter the kingdom than for, to put a camel through the eye of a needle or something like that. Whatever that scripture was. It means the same thing. The more stuff you have, the harder it is to give that up. That's only true if you believe that stuff means something. When you realize that it's all nothing, Ketu doesn't care. Ketu demands the same thing. The guy who's poor, who has nothing, and he only has a nickel, and Ketu says you have to give up that nickel. He goes, well, that's all right. I couldn't do anything with that nickel anyway. So from our perspective, it's easier for the poor guy to give up his nickel than it is for the billionaire to give up his billions. But Ketu doesn't care. So when my friend was saying, no, but that's that person's life. That's their passion. And they've got all, and I'm saying, who cares about the money? And he says, it's not about the money. That's their passion. And my thought is, Ketu doesn't care. Ketu doesn't care. When he shows up and he says, you got to sacrifice or you're going to suffer the illusion, I will let you just get so lost in the illusion you'll never find your way out. And you say, but Ketu, you don't understand. I have so much stuff. Ketu says, I don't care. I want you to sacrifice all that. I want you to give up everything and have the truth. So, in any case, what else? What was I saying? Baba Junzo says, I feel the desire to start a physical Maoshan temple that those interested in it can visit. Go for it. Not really to have people kiss my feet, but where like-minded people can go syncretize. Great. Go for it. I'll come visit. You can let me know when you've created it, and I'll come and visit. Maybe you can hire me, and I'll teach a couple classes. Go for it. Do whatever you want, man. This life is about living your passion, living your soul desire. If your soul desire is to create a Maoshan temple, go do it. But isn't that interesting that you asked me if I was going to make one? Why did you need to ask me if I was going to make one? You're the one that wants one. You wanted me to do the work for you? No, you're the one that wants one. You go make one. I will be, if you go build a Maoshan temple, you can tell me about it every week and I'll give people your link and have them go visit. I will support that. What else? Zerlath question. Have you considered doing energy work with the Bermuda Triangle? Nope. Hasn't once entered my mind. I believe it is why Florida is for the dying. All right, well. Nope. That has not entered my mind, and it still hasn't entered my mind. Let's see, what else? Zerlath. Let's see. Okay, that's not a question or an honest feeling. Sunshine and Sophia. Honest feeling. If you believe... Okay, that's not a feeling. Sophia, every time that you give an opinion, you're not having a feeling. So I'm not going to read the rest of that because That's not a feeling, that's an opinion. That doesn't serve you. You're welcome to have them. We all have them. At some point, you have to have opinions about things. But what I want for people in my classroom is I want them to be in a meditative state of mind, which means that you are either in a state where you're asking questions about things that you don't know, or you're simply aware of your feelings. Because what have I said is the definition of enlightenment. The definition of enlightenment is to have all of your thoughts, all of your feelings, all of your impulses, all of your lower instincts, to be conscious of them, to fully feel them without having to take action on them, and then having the consciousness to take action on what is best for you and best for all of consciousness. That is enlightenment, which means that you can be fully enlightened while feeling like you are in hell. There are plenty of people who think they're in heaven who are wreaking hell everywhere they go. They are not enlightened because they're unaware of their thoughts, their feelings, their motives, their actions. So sometimes being aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your motives, and your actions is an incredibly uncomfortable place to be, but to learn to be there without having to have an opinion. So that opinion that you shared, which I share, the need for you to call that a feeling means that you don't know the difference, which means that you use your opinions, as we all do from time to time, including myself. You use your opinions as a defense mechanism against your feelings. So when you're in my classroom, if you have an honest feeling, you say, I'm scared, I'm happy, I'm confused, but you don't make any conclusions. You can say, I'm scared of the jab. That's a feeling. You're not making any conclusions. You can also say, I'm scared of my husband who loves me. That's also, I can't judge your feelings, but I can sure as hell judge your opinions. So in order to avoid me judging you, don't have an opinion. The need to voice your opinion doesn't serve you in my classroom. Eventually you have to come and have conclusions, but does that make sense? Now, if you can hear what I just said without needing to double down and defend yourself, you can go places in my class. If not, we'll find out, because I'm about to look at your next honest feeling. We'll find out if this is the classroom that is best for you. What else? Honest feeling. I used to be afraid of because I can't say that word, because I thought it would disconnect me spiritually. Then a friend reminded me. So that's almost a feeling, but the feeling stopped when, and also, why are you talking about the past? Your feelings are in the present, not in the past. So if you used to be scared, that's not now. I want to know what you're feeling now. So if you're not afraid and you're talking about how you used to be afraid, who cares? Ketu doesn't care. That's the past. The past is over. Right now, this moment are your feelings, not in the past. And you might have fears in the moment about the future. You might have feelings about the past. But to say, I used to be afraid, it's not an honest feeling. I'm not trying to judge you. It's really important that people be educated on what feelings are. Most people don't know. They don't know how to have feelings. They don't know how to express them. This is also very important for relationships. The woman that I would rush to put a ring on her finger and marry her is the woman who can look me in the face and tell me her feelings without making any conclusions or judgments or take any actions on them. If she can look me in the face and say, I'm feeling really hostile and homicidal towards you right now, without having to say, because you're an asshole, or if she can just have that feeling, because then you don't judge the feeling, you don't justify it, you don't judge it, and then I can hear it and go, oh, wow, you're having that feeling. And then I can say, was there something I did? And then the person can say, well, you said this and you did that and I felt this way. Then I can go, oh, I see what you're talking about. That would make me hurt too. I didn't realize I was doing that. I'm so sorry. Or I can say, well, I actually, that had nothing to do with you and I wasn't at all intending that. That sounds like that might be something coming from within you. So this is the lesson of just having your feeling without judging it, without having an opinion, and staying in the moment. And if she can look me in the face and tell me all of her negative feelings without judging me, taking action on them, or coming to opinions about it, I'll marry that person. Because that's the kind of person you want. When things are bad, they have the ability to share their feelings without then telling you what to do about it or what you need, all of that. And if they can hear you the same way, I'm not saying I'm perfect at any of this. I'm just telling you. Learning to have your feelings and be in the moment is probably one of the most advanced spiritual skills there is. And as you can see, I'm educating people. A lot of people don't know how to have a feeling without then justifying it in some way, having an opinion about it, coming to a conclusion. It's very hard for people to just be open-ended with a feeling. And when you can get there, that is the essence of meditation. Meditation is not emptying your mind. I don't know where this came from. Meditation is having all of your thoughts and feelings and not being forced to identify with them and act on them. That's meditation. The end result of that is you get an empty mind after you've accomplished that. But that's not the goal of meditation. That's the result of it. What else? Anything else? I don't know why you guys are talking to each other. All right, but that's okay. Very good. So that's it for me, guys. I wish you a happy whatever. And things are about to shift. In every respect, especially for me in my life, everything's about to shift. But the world is on the precipice of some who knows what. It could go either way. We have yet to see. Russo von Royen, question. Can you please remind me where Ketu will be positioned and when? I'm telling you, Ketu is in right now, as I said earlier. Ketu is in Scorpio conjunct Mars. I don't know how long it's going to. You can look that up on YouTube. Ketu Mars conjunction. I'm sure you can find numerous videos that will tell you how long they'll be there and when they'll change and all that. I don't know at the moment. All right, that's it. I wish you all the best, guys. Happy whatever, and I will see you guys all very soon. Do not let the biomatrix suck you in.